G'day, I'm Flloyd Kennedy and this is Being in Voice. Now today I'm going to teach you an exercise that I discovered in the middle of lockdown. It's a little bit weird, but if you think about what does weird mean, it means something that you wouldn't normally do, sounds that you wouldn't normally make or you wouldn't normally let other people hear you making them. And this one you're very welcome to keep it as private as you like. It's a sound, frog in my throat. It's a sound that I discovered, as I say, during lockdown, one of those periods when I was feeling more than a little bit sad and unable to cope and felt like having a bit of a cry. And sometimes the answer to feeling like having a bit of a cry is to actually have a bit of a cry. And that can result in you feeling a little bit better afterwards. You go, oh, okay, right, I've had a cry. It didn't change anything. I better get on and go and make a cake or something. In this instance, I really have found this to be extremely useful. And because nowadays we might not be locked down in our bubbles or our sort of COVID spaceships floating in space all on our own, but there's so much stress and horrible things happening in the world that there are still a lot of things to feel like having a bit of a cry about. So anyway, to cut a long story short, this is what happens. When you get that feeling, that tightening in your throat, and you, you know, and if the tears are going to come, they're going to come. What I discovered out of nowhere, but it's become a tool in my very useful toolbox, is that if I make this particular sound, instead of trying to relax my throat, I actually kind of tighten it. And I make this particular sound and then it makes me laugh. And then I can just get on, make a cake or not make a cake. So this is what happens. You feel sad, really sad, and your throat starts to tighten up. And then you do what any normal 2-year-old toddler would do. You go, and then you feel a little bit silly and you have a bit of a giggle. And my goodness, it makes you feel better. So I've been sharing this with friends who've also found it to be very useful. And I actually wrote a poem about it. It's in this poetry book of mine. It's only a matter of time. If you're interested, shoot me an email. I'll tell you how to get it. Signed copy, if that rocks your boat, or you can get it on Amazon. And so that is it. I'm going to demonstrate it for you again. Okay, you feel like having a bit of cry. And you can change it into any sound you like. So it might go into something like this, or it might go something like this. Good old wolfy howl, or your doggy howl. I'll read you the poem that I wrote. I hope it makes you smile. No pets allowed in a spaceship. It's just as well I'm on my own, without a cat. Although perhaps it is because I'm on my own that when a sudden sadness strikes me, like a sudden non-infectious, no, you cannot catch it, virus, it surges from some hidden depths beyond my conscious ability to control and bursts between my lips, that unbidden meow. And it's just as well that I don't have a dog, although if I did have a dog, for one thing, I'd be fitter, stronger, within and without. I don't need a dog because whenever a pathetic anguish strikes me without warning from within, it erupts in a manner worthy of the most lovable Labrador who, in sight of the last morsel of gristle sliding into the bin from my plate, before her tensile tongue can slip it down her greedy gullet, howls the howl of the most bereft, benighted, woe-begone beast of the forest. Arrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr it's just as well, because if I did have a cat or a dog, they would almost certainly jump ship at the first hint of a whimper, in the secure knowledge that, and so it is that I can rest assured in the secure knowledge that no one can hear my abandoned meow or arr floating high above the panic in my virtual pandemic-inspired space capsule. And that greedy Labrador, hang on a sec. There she is, my beloved Sheba. Oh, she was a lovely dog. I want her back. Yes, I have two very small grandchildren. One is now 4 and the other is 2. And they know how to make that sound. So just channel your inner 2-year-old tantrum sound and you will feel a lot better, just as they do. They know a thing or two, 2-year-olds. Now, before I forget to tell you, it's not just the sort of concept that it's a fun thing to do, making funny noises, but although it is, but it is also a physical fact that when you do this, you are releasing your feel-good hormones into your brain. So they are actually changing your brain's state. You can manipulate it yourself if you're up for having a go. I'm up for having a go. It's also great for warming up your voice. Be careful how you do it, obviously. I said something before about tightening your throat. You don't tighten your throat. You simply take control of what you're doing with it. So that instead of the kind of uncontrolled, that kind of thing, you're actually getting your vocal folds into focus to make a sound. And if you want to think of it like that, if you're worried about how you get to that sound, think of it as if, well, I'm just going to do a high hum. Really high hum, and then channel that 2-year-old tantrum moment, and you'll be off and running. Enjoy.